Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.
Oh, what's up, everybody? We live.
Woo!
Finale. Woo! We made it. We made it. Episode 9, y'all. It's a wrap. Woo! And they did not let us go out on the show without crying. You probably needed some drink. Like things was just it was tough, y'all. But this last 46 minutes.
Right? Yeah.
There you go. Got the bottle. Just got the bottle right. We got Giandra back. So this is about to be fun. We're about to go in. We're about to rant. We're about to vent a lot. But you guys already know, right? You got to follow us. You know, Twitter, Instagram, all the stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications. You also know the Oscars is going down tonight. So we giving you updates and all that kind of stuff that was going down with that on Twitter as well. So yeah, follow us so you'll figure out what's going on. Jamie is on special assignment, which she was telling you guys last week. So if you follow us as well, you'll know what she's up to. And, you know, we always got something up our sleeves coming in the Black Girl Nerds, universe going down. So, stay tuned. But let's get into this episode, guys. We got our drinks. We're ready to go. It was stressful. We might need some tissue as we continue this wrap up.
We made it.
Yeah, we need all kind of like emojis. I don't know. Josh's face explaining it all. Like, good Lord. All right, so let me
to get ready for tonight. I went and I watched Pedro Pascal's Hot Wings episode. He is a character. First we feast, whatever they call it, Hot Wings. Anyways, it's very entertaining. He is a character indeed.
I'm gonna have to check that out. By the way, he is at the Oscars looking cute, y'all. I love y'all peep the suit and everything. He got a little shout out in the opening, so he was looking cute. What'd you say, Josh?
I said I saw him in that picture with Salma Hayek.
Getting a shot. I think he's there to support his sister. So, follow that if you're interested to see I don't know what project she had out or whatever like that, but that's cool.
They had all our hot boys there. He was there. Riz Ahmed is there. Of course, all things Jonathan Majors over here. So, good night. Good eye candy at the Oscars.
Let me get some people up. People giving us Michael Turizo. Hello, what's up? Who we got? Kim Possible in the building. What's up? Oscar finale. Yes, it was.
KP.
She also said, me too. He is so funny. Yeah. It's a lot going on, y'all, for this Sunday, boy. It's like everything is popping off. It's a lot going on. All right. So let me get into this intro right here, because this is speaking of a lot going off and stuff popping off. So we open with a pregnant woman running to from an infected. She's in the woods. She runs into an abandoned house and her water breaks. The infected attack her, and the pregnant woman managed to stab it. The baby is born shortly after. And then we also notice that the woman is infected. So we like, okay, y'all, we giving birth. Who got infected? The woman is infected. Why is she trying to give birth? Okay. The woman calls the baby Ellie. And then we know now that Ellie was brought into the world, and then opening titles. And we always got to give you the connection to the game, right? So this pregnant woman is actually Ashley Johnson. She voiced Ellie in the game. So this thing they love to do this full circle moment where they have all these voice actors come back. So I thought that was so dope for her to be able to do that. And also, if you watched after the episode, I thought it was cool too. She said this was her first pregnancy scene, and they were using like real babies and stuff in the scene. So I was like, girl, shout out to you, because it couldn't be me. That was crazy. But I was like, whoa, good Lord. All right, Josh, you want to kick us out? We'll keep our normal rotation. You want to start?
Sure. Man, what a journey that was. Yeah, the opening scene when it was like her pregnant, I was like, okay, we're doing Ellie's origin story, which was fine. But then when it got to the point of like Ellie being born, I was like, she was literally like, we knew she was born after everything had gone down. But I was like, she was literally born into violence, from violence, with violence all around her. Like she was christened by violence when she came in. Like she didn't have no choice but to be as tough as she was. And even like the little bit, which I thought was clever. I didn't know this. I don't know if this is that in the game, like the umbilical cord, like the mom gets cut and then she sees the umbilical cord and then she cuts it. But there's like that pause of like, oh shoot, I didn't realize I was cut and I'm still like feeding into the baby. I don't know.
Like Michael, yeah, it's not. Yeah, Michael's saying, yeah, it's not in there. Yeah, I thought this was so cool that they added that in. Yeah, they give us nothing with Ellie. Like we just know for some reason she's immune, and they don't tell us any kind of backstory or anything like that.
Okay, yeah. So I thought that was like really clever, and it doesn't like I'm not a fan when I will not name the company that tends to do this, but I'm not a fan when companies take properties, make changes down the line that mess up what made someone special in their inception. And what I loved about this is like, oh, we understand now like how it even got in her system, but it still doesn't take away the fact that she is special. Like she's still different. We just know how she got it, but like she's still different. So I appreciated that. Oh, sorry, my PlayStation's over there talking to me. Sony, come through with the endorsement. But yeah, that whole thing was just, it was mad.
Ashley, by the way, go ahead, Josh. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there's Ashley, by the way, so you guys can see.
Oh, dude, shout out to Ashley for being a voice actor who can do screen acting and vice versa. Like that is not universal. And sis, much like Troy Baker, sis the girl murdered that whole scene. Honestly, the only moment that took me out is like, now, I'm not a doctor. I haven't seen a whole lot of births, but that's the cleanest baby I done ever seen come out. I was like, they didn't have to wipe you off for nothing. Maybe that's part of like the side effect of Ellie's genes. You just come out clean baby. I was like, I don't know about that one, but it was a very intense way to open the show.
Mm-hmm. Poor baby just dropped all on the damn floor to plap, just baby out. And the fact that, I mean, I have a child, I've given birth. I agree that baby was quite clean. Just the wherewithal to stab somebody. I mean, mothers can do impossible things, but I was ready to be laid out when I had a baby. And so the idea of doing a hand-to-hand combat with somebody was fascinating. But I like this showing the Ellie's origins, especially since we've seen her her violence that she's experienced, where she had to kill, where she's had to defend herself. And I just like that reminder that we were all these little innocent babies that were just born so tenderly, unless you're her and you dropped on the floor and your mama is stabbing people while you were born. So, you know, she came out the womb just ready. Ready.
Yep. Yeah, Kim Possible, shout you out here again. Yes, I appreciate her origin story too. It made total sense to me. Yeah, they did a great job with this because they give you none of this stuff in the game. So I like how they kind of explain this a little bit more. Now to the Enigma, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, so yeah, they doing a great job kind of giving us more of a backstory, because this episode does seem to follow, if you watch the gameplay, if you continue to play the game, it does very much seem to follow closely. Like, we're always talking about production design, everything seems to follow in this last episode, except for that tidbit. To me, that really stood out. They wanted to really tell us, like Jandra said, that Ellie's a fighter. Like, she was a beast coming out. Like, nothing has been easy for this little girl, going into this. So that was just interesting, that start. So let's keep it moving here. You guys kind of touched on it a little bit. So we learned the woman's name is Anna, and Marlene knows her. Anna asked Marlene to take Ellie and to kill her, because we saw that Anna was bitten in the process, and Marlene takes the baby, but she says she can't kill Anna. Then she changes her mind and tells her colleague to cover Ellie's ears, and then she shoots Anna. And we flash forward to the present, and you see Ellie deep in thought. She's still shaking up because, y'all, she just escaped some cannibals. Girl, I'm with you. I would have been shaking up too. I just, like, they eating people, y'all. But anyway, so Joel is trying to, lighten the mood, but she's too caught up in her own thoughts. And Joel gives Ellie a boost and they go into this dilapidated building. And if you guys remember, we don't get too many building shots in this one, but when we do, and you get to see her like throw down a ladder and stuff, that's all like gameplay that they did really well with the production settings. Because Ellie is like supposed to be the little one, so he's always like throwing her up, boosting her up, and she always has to throw down a ladder. So I thought that was cool that they added that in. But yeah, Josh, whoo, Marlene had to pull out that gun. I was like, look, good Lord, what you think about this one?
Man, I had to ask myself, like, could I do it? I don't know if I could have. I don't know. I think I've been like, you know what? I'll leave the gun for you to maybe do it. But I don't know, especially when she's like, how long have we known each other? Our whole lives. Like, you've been my boy my whole life, and you want me to take your newborn child and then kill you? Nah. Yeah, definitely. Episode felt way too short. Although I do think they did a good job like stretching out some of the tender moments. Yeah. But yeah, that was gangster. Also, though, I did think she was gonna stab her when she told her colleague to like, cover the ears. I was like, oh, this is gonna be horrible. But then she fired the gun. I'm like, okay, there was no amount of ear covering that was gonna prevent Ellie from hearing that.
Yeah.
But again, going back to her like christening of violence, one of the earliest sounds she heard was a gunshot. So she done heard murder. She's heard knives pop out. She's heard gunshots. Like, that's all just buried into her conscious. And obviously, like scientifically, that stuff stays with you. And then I found the whole next sequence just really, really, really sweet. Actually, I have one of my dearest friends in the world. She has developed a huge Pedro Pascal crush, and she's out right now, so she hasn't watched the episode. But I texted her, I was like, "Girl, your ovaries are gonna be an overdrive with everything this man's doing." And I was like, "Yeah, because it was the first time he was being like gentle and tender and fatherly, and like he seemed awkward, like he tried to talk and fill the space, and like." I felt like it was very honest in that dad space of, you just had this horrific ideal. And so I'm trying to be respectful and give you the space, let you know I'm here, give you your space, not be too far, not be too close. And you can see him really just, trying to do that. And then the giraffe part, I was like, that was the sweetest thing. I felt like, because I did watch, today was the first time I watched the after show thing. And I felt like, in that moment, like Pedro was really, I felt like that was a genuine smile. Like he was really happy to be there. Now I'm hoping that the giraffes are real giraffes and not CGI, because that would ruin the moment for me. But they sold it as far as I was concerned. All of that was really just gorgeous and like tender. The first time we'd ever got to see that.
Josh, I hate to break it. Them giraffes was definitely damn CGI. Definitely. They definitely were green screen, my family, for show up on the screen. Two takeaways from that section. Boy, Jeffrey and them done got out of Toys R Us, and they hanging out there with Ellie. I'm like, boy, I don't want to grow up. That's all I kept thinking when I saw
it come through Toys R Us reference. Yeah.
Man, and then boy, how the tables have turned. You saved somebody's life, and now he can start being a little more sweet and tender. He said, man, this girl done came back, stitched me up. It hurt, but she saved my life. I could be a little more fatherly. I could smile a little bit more. He was just like, shit, I'm very happy to be here.
Right.
He's looking at him like, bro, I am so traumatized right now, but I'm glad you're feeling warm and fuzzy towards me. Boy, their roles have completely reversed. Episode. She's all traumatized and broken and sad, and he's just want to go feed the giraffes. Hey, let's get some leaves. Yay, come on, daughter, let's go. Yeah. Like, hell, I'm traumatized. Fall back a little bit. Jeffrey and them are cool, but I'm working through some stuff here.
Before we get into more about Jeffrey and them, Kim Possible says, I think I could end my best friend if she got infected. I wouldn't want her to suffer. Yeah, I mean, you don't want them to suffer, but this whole world is just whack. Let's just agree on that. It's just whack. Because it's like you can't do anything. You got to turn around, like you have your parents, whatever, family member, your friends, you got to take them out because there ain't nothing you can do, and the infection spreads so quickly. It is literally the worst. So
yeah, KP, you a gangster though. Like I know.
Yeah, she a gangster. She said I can take them out. Yeah, KP got you. Look, if you need to make the hard decisions, KP got you. All right, she got it. She said, I got you. I'm ready to go.
Say
Every
that.
time some possible tweets, I got to do that.
Right, exactly. Every time I see that, that's what pops into my head. Okay, so we talked about Jeffrey. And Gianna said they fed Jeffrey and everything. But here's the part though. So Joel suggests, he said they should go back to Tommy's and forget about the whole thing. And Ellie says everything that they've been through, it can't be for nothing. And she knows, he wants to protect her and everything. But she's like, look, it ain't no halfway with this. We need to follow through. So what did you guys think about that decision? Because I was like, what if they go back? What if she's like, what if they like, we done had enough?
Yeah, I think prior to the events of the last episode, had Joel brought that up, I think she would have gone for it, because so far, like, things had happened, but they kept pace with each other. But the line, and kudos to Bella for just being such an amazing actress. Yep. Like, she's like, after all this happened, and then she's like, after everything I've done. And we know what that was, specifically the last part of the last scene of the last episode. And, that marked her. And I felt that. I was like, yo, that's real. Because, like, I think up until that episode, I think she was take it or leave it. She really wasn't, like, invested in the mission. She was just like, I just want to be with Joel. He's the only person that I'm safe with, I'm comfortable around. But she wasn't invested in the mission. And I think after that last episode, she's like, well, now this got to count. This got to matter. Like, I've done too much brutal things. I've gone so far. I've gone so far outside myself that I can never return to who I was. I'm now fundamentally changed. And I feel like that's what she's contemplating this entire episode. Like, she's just adrift in, like, who am I now? Because I'm not episode 2 Ellie. Even though I've been through some stuff, like, I'm not that person anymore. So I felt it. I mean, I understood Joel. Now that he's it's the complexity of vulnerability, right? Because he's now like, oh shoot, now I care about her. Now I got something to lose. And you know what? This mission I was so gung-ho. Nope. I found my brother. They're actually doing really well. They're about to have electricity and Netflix in a couple of years. We can go back there.
They got Netflix. Yep.
You can have a house. I can have a house. We can hang out. We can do that whole thing. So I understood his side, but I definitely understand. She's like, after everything I've done, like, I got skin in the game now. So, yeah.
I feel like the goalpost of completion is shifting, and Ellie wants to have a purpose. But as we get in later into our discussion, what is success really? Because all this time they've been communicating to her that you are the key. She probably think, oh, I'll just do a couple little vials of blood and it's all good. And we gonna figure this out. And had she really known what the win is, maybe she has some pause, maybe she doesn't. Maybe Joel is having some thoughts about what the end is. Maybe he's not. But I think what they think success is and getting to the goal line is, as we know later in the episode, is very different from, nobody told them from the beginning, this is what we need to do. So yes, very, 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 very vulnerable times for them to try to figure out finding purpose. Joel's always had a purpose, and Ellie's kind of like stepping into her purpose now that she's been given one. Because I mean, she's a child. No one knows what their purpose is at that age, or unless you're just some kind of wonderkind. But very, very confusing still for her, and she's so heavily into this PTSD right now.
Yeah. Like, when you're in that moment, you need something to focus on. And this has been her goal. And you can't just, she's like, nah, I ain't with that. Let's change the plan. Like, it's been rough out here. So, Nanta the Enigma, tough decisions have to be made. You can't afford to hesitate. Yeah, that's what the show is. You can't hesitate. It's crazy out here in these streets. Michael Torizo, the town that Tommy lives in, is first shown in the second game. Okay. All right. So second game knowledge. Okay.
I would have went back to where the homies lived, where they were in their little gay community. I would have went back there, but because they were living good.
Yeah, yeah. You got to get back to Jackson. That's all I'm saying. But Ellie, like, not today. All right. So then we get into now. Joe about to have his moment. Okay, Joe, he giving a lot this episode. So he shares a story with Ellie of how he tried to kill himself. He said he flinched and he wasn't sure why. And this happened shortly after Sarah died. We all know the headspace I can't even imagine as a parent. So after Sarah died, he was in this pretty dark space. And they all kind of, both of them is kind of in this little dark element right now. And Joel's like, well, I need a joke. So Ellie takes out the pun book and she starts reading, to lighten things up. We all know this is the part of the game that always kind of brings a little bit light back, when they start getting a little bit too, down in the dark.
They're the best.
And so in the game, this is a frequent occurrence that Ellie does, which we know that plays a nice little homage to that. And then all of a sudden, while they laughing it up, having a good time with some corny jokes about grapes, suddenly tear gas is thrown at Ellie and Joel. And then Ellie is taken away screaming. Joel is knocked unconscious. This is the second time we don't see Joel down, knocked unconscious while they take Ellie. Not the second time, probably like the 50th, but whatever, who's counting? But it's just like they be sneaking up on my boy Joel, and I ain't with it. I'm not with how they sneak up on him. Josh, what you think?
Yeah, I wasn't with that either. But I will say, I think, Pedro was Pascaling like he ain't never Pascaled before.
It's a verb now, guys. Pascaling.
It's like Pascaling definition: to act one's whole arse off.
Exactly. Damn method. Method is not the standard anymore. It's Pascaling.
Pascaling. It's official.
Pascaling.
But yeah, I mean, just like when he talked about like the attempted suicide, and for some reason I flinched, that was already deep enough, right? Going back to what you were saying, Jandra, about like purpose, because some piece of him was like, I actually do still have more to live for. But the fact that the second half of that whole interaction, where she's basically like, well, I'm glad it worked out for you. I'm glad, I guess time heals all things. And he's like, it wasn't time. And then they both look at each other, and then they both start like almost crying. I'm like, yo, what is happening here? Like on the screen. That was the part that I first started to almost crack. I was like, no, keep it inside, Josh. Keep it together. They can't get you twice. But that, I just felt like that was masterful. To like when you can give so much with just the line and some silence, and it's just back and forth. I was like, yo, that's brilliant. I wasn't really surprised when the flashbang went off and they got knocked out, because the whole time in my head, I'm like, we've had a lot of tenderness, we had a lot of openness. Something terrible is about to. I'll be really real. When they were feeding the giraffe, I was waiting for some hunter to kill the giraffe, and we just watch the giraffe like, and then collapse, because everybody got to eat. That's like been prevalent in this world. Like,
now
eat.
Is giraffe taste good? Now that's interesting. I didn't think about that. I ain't think about I'm trying to eat Jeffrey. Now that's interesting.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, there's a lot of giraffe out here. People ain't discovered giraffe meat yet.
I mean, I feel like if we're at the point where we're eating people, nothing's off limits. Nothing.
There you go.
Hyenas, giraffes, porcupines, we'll eat anything.
All things. All things are protein.
Right. Boil some cement.
It was fascinating to me, again, it's that whole thing about vulnerability and love making you soft. And so they're coming together, and they have finally met in this place where they can be emotionally connected with each other, because they've had some things. Joel has saved her life early on. She has now saved his life early on. Maybe, I mean, not equals, but they have seen each other at their best and their worst. And so now it's like a deepening of their relationship, only to get flashbanged from behind. How they didn't hear that? Well, we know why Joel couldn't hear, because he can't hear.
He was on the wrong side. Lord have mercy.
And Ellie was too hype about the giraffe. So, just made them soft, a little soft, and not paying attention to the environment around them. But yeah, I too was waiting for the drama to come, because we can't have too much happiness. That's not what this show is about. It's not about happiness. It's about survival.
Let's see. Look at some comments here. And after the enigma, nobody is trying to get necked by a giraffe.
Yeah, they hit each other with their necks, like because they can't like pick their feet up. Giraffe fights look horrible. They're so
Yeah, I got a
stupid.
little
They
bit of
slap the
giraffe fights.
shit
All
out of
right
each
then.
other. I was like,
Let's
can
see, Kim Possible. I was thinking the same thing that Jeffrey about to get shot.
Man,
Dang, nobody wanted Jeffrey to make it through.
they
Dang,
was
y'all
trying to
ain't-
pull
y'all
the blicky out.
out here in the streets. Man. Oh, Shaquan, let me put you back because she had a good one, giraffe meat. I'm trying,
Yeah.
everybody trying to eat the giraffe, sue to
Hey.
take it out. Okay, then, all right.
people is hungry. That's one thing they've made very clear on this show. Food is always scarce in every city. I'm like, all these giraffes out here. How is no one feasting on this? Either that, I thought they were either going to kill the giraffe, or it was going to be like it's like a giraffe farm, and then like the owners were going to come out and be like, "Get off of my farm! Stop trying to eat my giraffes!"
Josh is just auditioning for this in part 2. So
Part 2.
Cast giraffe.
Book it. Book it.
All right, so let's get back to Joel. Can't hear on his right side and got knocked out. All right, so Joel wakes up, seeing Marlene, and she tells him that Ellie is being prepped for surgery. Joel wants to know why. Marlene starts to explain when Joel realizes that the cordyceps grow inside the brain and Ellie will die in surgery because basically they want to get the cordyceps out. You guys use the cordyceps to make an antidote, but the cordyceps are in her brain. So it ain't looking too good for Ellie coming out of the surgery. So Joel is like, nah, you need to go take me to her right now. Marlene is like, no, that's not happening. And that Joel is like, you don't understand. I swore to protect her. And then she's like, okay, escort dude out. Marlene's like, yeah, you got to go. I'm going to give you this knife, so you got a little protection. Take your bag, get to stepping. And we like, oh, shoot. You can already tell on Joel's face. Like, that's his baby. They messing with his baby.
He said.
Yep.
Basically, yeah, rolled up them sleeves.
It was like,
Yeah, go ahead, Josh. What you got?
I mean, I think we all knew what was about to happen at that. The moment she said, "Take this man out, give him his pack, and send him on his way," we all knew. We all knew it was gonna happen. I was like, y'all must not have heard of what happened the last time some people tried this. Some dude almost got his kneecap popped off, his head bashed in with a pipe. I'm like, this dude, he flips that switch when it comes to Ellie. Like, don't do that. Don't play yourself. I will say, I think Marlene was extra gangster.
Yep.
And it's I don't know how much background they give in the game, but I do find it like super fascinating. Like, because obviously part of this whole exploration and purpose is also like the paradox of purpose. And how she even said, she's like, if anyone gets it, I do. But how she went from reluctantly killing her friend to protect her, swearing to protect her friend's child, to being willing to like kill that same child, but also in the same moment telling Joel, like, I didn't want to owe you of all people a favor, but now I owe you. Also, I don't really owe you, and I'm not gonna like pay up on that. Like, she's so much confliction in any given moment. Yeah, that was why I hadn't connected the cordyceps being in the brain, but I was like, if you take the thing out that makes her, immune, I'm like, then she's just gonna get taken over, and you're gonna have to kill her anyways. That's what I was thinking, but either way, she's gonna end up dead. And Marlene's like, I don't know, like her sudden sense of urgency was also, I'm just like, this issue's not going away. You guys can actually take the time to figure this out. So I was like, and also maybe because Black History Month was just last month and I was talking about it with my kids, but then I started also thinking about Henrietta Lacks. I'm like, see, I'm getting that same vibe. It's like, okay, you got the special something, you're going to die. We're not going to tell you what we're doing, but we're going to use this to like heal other people. It's like, see, medical industry. For sure.
Can't trust them. I hate that it had to be, it had to be Marlene, but I hate that it had to be Marlene,
Yeah.
We didn't successfully killed off all the Black people in the show. All the Black people died. Ain't not one made it yet.
Yeah.
No, so as soon as even as a person who's not familiar with the gameplay, I already knew Pedro was about to take her out. Wrap. And just this whole, I'm sorry if I'm skipping a little ahead. This probably was like my favorite scene of the whole episode. This Escape from Alcatraz ass montage that they did. I know it's probably a big hat tip to the game, but that whole scene was so fire to me, and it was so moving to me that it had no dialogue. The sound, wait, can we just pause one time for the sound crew of this show? You guys know, because you guys film in your homes, how hard it is to make anything sound halfway decent. And just in this episode in particular, the cadence of Marlene and Joel talking to each other and what it really sounds like. It sounds like a video game for real. So how do you film something to give it? I'm not a music person, so I don't know what that is. It's something in the white noise that gives it a different sound. And so that, coupled with the scene, the action, the slow-mo, next year during the Emmys, that's the scene the sound team needs to submit for when they're trying to get their Emmy. That whole shit was so good. I had to run it back. Like, how do you make something sound like that? And just the performance, the looking, the camera switching, that probably was my favorite scene of the whole season, in a season that's been wrought with lots of fantastic cinematography, acting, performances, but that, and it had the least dialogue of the whole season. Chef kiss. It was beautiful. Loved it.
Let me get to some of the comments here. Let's see. What's your comment? Second, back over here. Oh, Joel's wife is still alive. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Siobhan. Yeah, somebody had to make it. Somebody made it.
There you go. What's up with Kim
Possible? And her mixed baby.
Why can't Ellie still survive? They're just going to remove just the cells. I think she would have I don't know. I don't know all the science behind that, because they got to go to the brain. But I mean, I'm always the person that's trying to find a third. Say it again, Jandra.
They probably had to go to the Abdullah Oblongata. Is that what it's called? In the center of the brain?
Good in mind. That sounds good enough to me. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that is what it's called. We gonna go with it. Abdullah whatever. We gonna do it. I'm convinced. Yes.
Ryan, I'm gonna hang up.
That is what I'm talking about. Impossible. There you go. Your answer. That was your answer. Yep.
Wait.
All right, we're gonna keep on. What you got, Josh? You got another scientific answer for us, Josh? Are you thinking about it?
Nah, my answer was the same as yours. Like, hey, sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, right.
Then to the Enigma, they were going to remove her brain and other parts. Well, yeah, they sound like they about to take some other parts too. So I feel bad for Ellie. She just want to be out in the streets saving people, but Joel's like, you ain't taking my baby. So yeah, like John just said, shout out to making us feel like we was up in a video game. I was like, yo, where my controller at? Because I wanted to have, he was going in. He was going ham. He had the ammunition we wanted him. Like, finally, he's picking up some ammunition to go after these people. That I don't know if it's up to judgment if he was going after the right people, but at least he had ammo to kind of back it up, just in case there was a clicker. We didn't know, like in case he was going through the halls or whatever. So, Josh, did you have anything? I mean, I ain't really going to go into detail about it, but did you have anything for the fight scene that you want to add?
Oh man, same as Jandra. It was masterful. Like Pedro was Pascaling, he ain't never Pascal before. Like it was just, it was beautiful. And I mean, I from the moment he turned around and killed that first person through the curtain or through the window, and it's like, oh, everybody's gonna get. We ain't taking no time. We ain't asking no questions. I'm not trying to suss out who knew and who didn't. Like y'all are all here. Everyone's got to go. I think Nanto said he went from Joel, whatever, I can't remember his last name, to Joel Wick. And that's absolutely what he did. He became Joel Wick. Sure did.
Miller. There you go. Last name Miller.
Yeah, he went from Joel Miller to Joel Wick, and it was true. But like you said, like just the look on his face, and he hasn't been too good at hand-to-hand combat, but like put a gun in this man's hands, and he's ready. And I think Pedro, like, just he was in the zone. Like he had the walk, he had the body motions, even like when he was reaching down to pick up like the guns with the extra clips, like he was there. And I don't know how they shot it, like if they shot it in real time and slowed it down, or they had him like move a little bit slower so they could. I have no idea how, but all of it came together, and the music was perfect. Like it was just, and you knew everybody was going to die. You knew everyone was going to get it.
Hit him with the blick, man. My God, that I was in here screaming, "Shoot his ass! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot his
I was
ass!"
happy.
I was ready. Like,
Yeah.
cut it off. Let's.
Yeah. They was holding out too, like, you know, going down the steps. I was like, now, how many more rows of steps are going down? Because
Right.
we know Joe could take them. It's like, Joe, you got to come through on this one. We know you're ready with this combination.
Right.
And they could have went so over the top with it because,
Yep.
I mean, it is adapted for TV. So they could have taken a lot of creative license. Because think about all the movies you've seen where there's like a big epic, like a John Wick or any kind of epic fight scene where it's like all orchestral and you know, and all the stuff is in slow-mo. They're like, no, you're gonna hear these bullets, you're gonna hear these grunts, you're gonna hear these falling, you're gonna hear the recocking of the gun. I said, this is on a whole nother level of creativity. I think I'm creative, but no, absolutely no, because just even the choices for that, like, I don't have that skill, I don't have that understanding or that creativity. Like, I would just like to watch them put just the sound people. I would have been hyped to been in the bay just watching them. Like, so how do y'all even? Because I get annoyed editing my little shit and I don't do nothing compared to that. So you know, I'm like,
yeah.
He didn't. Kim possibly pointed out he didn't shoot the nurses yet. He left the nurse. He was like, look, y'all need to unhook her. Turn
but
around.
even that scene was mad gangster. He's like, unhook her. And the one doctor is like, I'm gonna have to hey, I don't have time for this.
Not playing.
I don't. And the other nurses are like, you want me to put a bandage on the arm? Okay, yeah. What else you need? Okay.
I ain't seen nothing.
Yeah.
I would have did. I'd be like, I'm good. I'm straight.
Like, actually,
I'm
the intern. I ain't even fully licensed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get hours. Like, don't.
No, but what about the dude that was behind the desk? He like disarmed him or something, and I was like, oh, he gonna let him go. He was like, stop.
Yeah,
he
put the gun down. He was like,
yeah.
No.
Anybody can get it. Anytime.
Anybody.
They got it. They got it.
It was a good. I think it was a good.
Yeah, he did leave them alive. And he did leave the people in operating room. Yeah, he spared the nurses. Everybody else they got.
Somebody got to clean these bodies up. Y'all do it.
Yeah, that's what he must have been thinking. That's what he must have been thinking because everybody else was gone. Like that place was a blue. Like you don't need no more fireflies after that. I was like, I don't know if they got another little fire somewhere else in another video. I was like, all right, that's the fireflies for you then, I guess. All right.
We're only 38 minutes since we started, and that goes to, was it Nanto's earlier point that the episode, it probably was just that good. The episode felt so short. I feel like we're already to the end, and I'm like,
we only got like a couple more like key scenes, and then like two, I want to touch on before we get to the other key scenes. We kind of touched on this a little bit too, but once he got down to the parking garage, he has Ellie. She's still knocked out. Y'all, Marlene shows up with the gun, y'all. She was ready. She was like, look, you don't understand what Ellie wants you to do this. And we know it's still Joe Wick. He ain't hearing it. He ain't hearing it. She was trying to tell him, she was like, look, we can figure out a way, like we can still, it's not too late. And it was like, and I was like, well, dang. So, you know, now like y'all said, all we got left is Tommy's wife. That's the only black person we got left. Cause I was like, come on now.
That's it.
Yeah, Marlene is out. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I was kind of like, I was sad. I didn't want Marlene to get shot, but then I was like,
I just feel
like, leave her alive.
I wasn't sad because she wasn't honest either. You know, I'm always for everybody black, but they didn't tell Ellie what they probably made it seem like, well, you're just gonna get a few little vials of blood and then you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sorry, Marlene, everybody can get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole scene, because obviously we're doing a little bit of time travel in the scenes, but when she really pulls his card for a sec, and she's like, basically she lets him know, like, you're not doing this for her, you're doing this for you, because she would actually want to do this. Again, in the paradox of like purpose and vulnerability, I'm just like, man, you're probably right, But also, if you fully believe that, you would have just told her that instead of lying to her. So I'm like, this is like super, it's just like masterful gaslighting, just on the highest possible tier. But the way it froze him up in his tracks, that is the first time where I actually also paused. And I was like, huh. Because, you know, this whole thing, like the whole hallway scene, he has this whole moment. Also, side note, I do hope he shows up in like John Wick Chapter 5. Like he's proven that he can do that.
Seriously though, yeah.
Give Pedro like his own shoot him up revenge assassin story. Like let him go all out.
Mhm.
But when he froze up, that gave me pause. I was like, huh, maybe Ellie actually would, in this moment, actually be okay with that decision. And I felt like it was kind of a subtle callback to when he told her, like when he had too much and he was ready to kill himself. And we clearly saw that she was distraught. So I was like, huh, what an interesting place to be. And they were talking about it afterwards. And they were like, the whole thought experiment is like how far a parent goes for their child.
Yeah.
And obviously we live in a very non-90s time right now where anything a child says goes. But what do you do when you know that the truth that your child is speaking out of is directly related to something they have not yet themselves worked through?
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that he handled it the right way, but it's just like, shoot, like what do I do? Because if we do wake her up, she probably would say, yeah, kill me. But it's only because she just had this other thing and she's not sure what her purpose is, if she has a reason to exist anymore. Actually, she's wrapping her entire existence up in being able to be the cure. That's the only thing she's living for. So if you ask her, are you willing to give your life for the thing that you're living for? Of course, she's going to say yes at this point. So just his whole like, dang. But I can no longer, I'm not okay with it. Again, an episode ago, I think he would have been okay. Like, you know, we got to take our L's. But at this point, like, I can't live with that. And then, then when I did not want Marlene to die. Like you said, John, I hate that it had to be her, but he was absolutely right. It's like, if I leave you, you're just going to come after her again. Like, you got to go. I'm tired of, I got ambushed. First of all, y'all know who I am. Let's just say that. Y'all know who I am. And I still got ambushed by these soldiers. Now you're going to have a vendetta against me? Absolutely not. I'm not going to put it over my shoulder. I'm trying to maybe go back to my brother. Nah, you got to go.
Mm-hmm. I think Ellie might even have some guilt too. You know?
Yeah.
You know, she's harboring, along with that PTSD, you know, survival. Like, why am I still here? Why am I the one with the young boy? Had to kill him. He had to get killed. Best friend had to get killed. All her friends are black.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody had to get.
You know what's up?
Catch it. And this was like probably the only part of. I mean, this is the part of the episode, not the only part, but this is when I cried. Like when he was carrying her out, and then remembering, harkening back to him and his daughter. I'm like, this is sad as hell. Like this is some tragic shit happening here. In one hand, you've got this child that you have now become attached to, who has saved your life too, weighed against how do we heal the world, the needs of one versus the needs of many, and how do you weigh that? You know, do you feel like I'm going to save her because I deserve some happiness? Y'all even killed up my daughter, didn't even do shit. So you know what? I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. So he said, I'm getting me a daughter. Damn what y'all going through. I got a daughter.
Yo, Nanto.
Let's see. What's Nanto? If the Fireflies would have made a cure, would they share it with the world or use it as a trump card for world domination? Now that's true. Now see, I was wondering about that part right there. Now that's true. I was wondering if they get the cure, is they really gonna be all like, oh, let's save the world, we can help everybody, or are they gonna be like, nah, just my crew. Like my crew is immune. So we can own this right now. Like we can take over these different parts of the city.
You can hearken it back to the episode where they're trying to recruit Ellie to be a future leader and says, look, we got it good. You don't even have to do patrol or shovel shit. Okay. So we know who's gonna get it. The you know, the hands of a few. It's gonna be they ain't prioritizing the world. How they gonna mass produce it?
Yeah.
Right. All exactly. Right. Yeah. Then you get into like slave camps and all this other stuff. Yeah, it would have been a mess. I mean, and the fact
So
that
we with Joe Wick, take him all out. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
shoot them all. And that was the other thing I was thinking about. Is like y'all ain't had your scientists have not done well at all. And I'm like, and so quickly, so casually, you're willing to kill this girl. Like you don't want to do some preliminary experiments. You don't want to test nothing. Like you're straight to like, oh, she's just a body. Like y'all don't actually value human life at all. Y'all are just power brokers looking for more power.
And before we touch on the last scene, I want to do this line real quick. Because as we know, all the stuff that we're talking about, by the way, guys, is once he gets in, if everybody doesn't know, once they get into the van, you know, he's took everybody out that's gonna be witnesses. They in the van. We see kind of like a groggy Ellie trying to wake up, you know, from all the drugs and stuff she's been under. And Joel tells Ellie a story that there are dozens others like her and that they couldn't make the vaccine work. So I just wanted to put that out there because that was a key part too, that you kind of want to remember going into the next season of this story. This what he's telling her happened, and you know whether or not Ellie is really believing this. And then let me go ahead and take us down into this very last scene here. So the car Joel drove away in and breaks down. You know these cars only take them but so far. And so now they got a 5-hour hike going to Wyoming. While they were headed to Wyoming, they got a 5-hour hike ahead of them, which I'm like, Lord, I hope they got the good shoes on. And Ellie is quiet, and she's like, I think this is where I think Ellie kind of reading it, right? Like she real quiet, she knows something's up. Joel starts talking about Sarah and how, you know, Sarah would have liked Ellie and they would have had a little thing, you know, Ellie, you know, talking about her not being as girly, you know, all the stuff Joel's trying to just, you know, he's into his fatherly stuff now. You know, he's deflecting a little bit. He's into the fatherly moment. And Ellie stops Joel. They're almost to Jackson where they want to be. And she says, you need to swear to me that everything you told me was true. Everything you said about the Fireflies are true. And Joel looks dead at her. He says, I swear that is true. Like he looks dead at her. And then Ellie says, okay. And then that's where we wrap everything up. And so now we think they're heading off to watch their Netflix in Jackson. And, you know, as I hand it over to Josh and Giandra and get you guys' comments in, apparently we're about to, like, this whole rant and this conversation that we get ready to have. This is the thing with this game. Whether or not Joel made the right decision, we kind of touched on it a little bit, to make this decision to go to Jackson with Ellie. Why did he do it? Was it the smart decision? You know, is he putting the whole world at risk that he didn't explore this more? Like, this is the whole thing that makes this game makes us want to play this game, makes us want to watch this game that everybody's arguing about for years when it comes to this game. Was this the right decision? The way this episode ended. So, Josh, what you think?
Man, I'm torn. So okay. I think emotionally it was painful to watch that whole thing, because he's, you know, he spins this whole yarn for her, low-key taking advantage of the fact that the drugs are still in her system. She's not all the way in her right mind. And then, you know, we're at the final scene and he's like overselling it. It's like if you're in a relationship and you cheated and you're just like, yeah, and then you're giving like a perfect accounting of everywhere you went that day. It's like, see, I'm good. It's me. And it's like, dude, you're overselling it. And Ellie, again, like you said, John, like the roles have shifted. Like he's unsettled, doesn't know what to do, is trying to convince, and she's just the stoic one. And when she asked him that, I was like, don't do it, Joel. Knowing he was going to do it. I'm like, I don't do it. And he says, I swear. And Bella, again, played this perfectly because you can tell she does not believe him. She knows he's lying. And they said it afterwards in like the aftertalk, like she knows he's lying, but she's not in the space where she can actually like process what that means, or even to parse out like, okay, which part was the lie, which is true, is all of it like what? So that, yeah, in that, I mean, emotionally, I was just like, I wish you would have just told her and let her like be mad at you, and then you could, if she really wants to do it, then be like, okay, we'll go find some other nurses or whatever, like. But then on the other side, like objectively from the adult side, I'm just like, well, the child who didn't get to make the choice already, and we're not espousing lying to children. Just want to put that out there. That is not a Black Girl
Right.
Nerds principle. But just that space, like I was saying earlier, just like, well, if a child has not processed a thing and they're trying to make a permanent choice off of something they have not fully processed, or even because sometimes you can emotionally, like psycho-emotionally process something, but it takes some years for the body to process it. And then you have that moment 5 or 6 years later, it's like, oh, like now it's actually out of my system. And so if you know that as an adult, like if it's another adult, then it's like, adults gonna make adult choices. But you have a child who's trying to make a permanent decision based off of something they haven't processed psycho-emotionally or physically, then it's just like, is this really the best? Am I serving you the most by letting you make that choice? And that's tough. I mean, I think that's tough for any parent, any older person. And then it gets into, how far you're willing to go. And I feel like in that moment, he decided, I would rather you be alive in 3 to 4 years to hate me for the rest of my life than for you to be dead today and I hate myself for the rest of my life. And that was really, I feel like that's what he chose. Do I want to hate me, or am I willing to have her hate me? And, he made his choice. So I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I understand.
Hat tip. I totally agree with what you say, Josh, about the whole making accounting when when you being ain't shit, Oh yeah, because we all do it. Oh yeah, oh, do you want to go get a burger? Or hey, do you want to, you want to go to the mall? You want to go shopping? It's like a guilt. And then it's so funny how just that easing of the boundaries between them led to him being a whole liar. Because before the energy Joel was on, what I say goes, don't be asking me no questions.
Yeah,
exactly.
And she's already agreed to that. Like, you know what? You're right. What you say goes. I was like, why didn't you just be a gangster like you've been earlier in the season? Been like, you know what? Look, they was about to slice your brain open. I think you want to live. So I took it upon myself to cap everybody in there. She wouldn't have liked it, but where's she gonna go? Where's she going? They still going to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or wherever the hell they going. So, it's just very interesting. Like, does emotional oh wow, sorry, the Oscars is on right there. I just looked over to see who won. But it's amazing how the more emotionally connected you come with a person, you're willing to lie to them. It's very fast. It's fascinating, a human thing. As a parent, as a daughter, an auntie, we all do it. It's a very human nature thing. Like, I think I want to spare you a little heartbreak by maybe I'll color it in a way that's not so devastating. And then also, to Josh's point, I was fully expecting Ellie to be like, bitch, I wasn't sleeping your arms when you was carrying me out. I knew you shot.
I was waiting for that too. We'd be like, I was a little awake.
I was waiting for her to hit us like the Undertaker, like, and sat up. I thought she was going to air it out, but she still might. Who knows?
Yeah. So let's see. So Michael, what you talking about? You guys going ham in these comments over here. They would share it with the world, in my opinion. Okay, so Michael got a faith in the Fireflies.
Hey, Michael, glass half full. We love that.
Motown investor. Okay, she said, "Hey, what's going on?"
With a little East Coast.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Jandra. Give us some notes there. Next to the Enigma, Joel did what every parent does: lie to protect their child. Yeah, I mean, he was trying to protect her. He was like, maybe I shouldn't tell her the whole truth, but it's this question, you guys, is years in advance. Like, people are so split on this decision.
Yeah.
How the first game ends. Yeah. I mean, everybody, that's what makes this game what it is. Like, they did the same thing in the game. That's how they ended everything. Can possible Ellie know something is up? Yep. Ellie's smart. So he's not gonna be able to. We'll see how Joel's gonna have to finagle to keep this lie up. She gonna say something. If you haven't played the game, a valuable lesson is taught. Everything you do has a consequence. Yep.
Amen. We playing the game of life. We know.
Man, that is one thing for sure. I gotta play through both these games before season 2 drops, because I want to be in the know. Like, this is wild. This time I'll If it's too much, I'll just lower the difficulty setting. But I'm a
That's what I would do. Oh yeah. Just lower the setting. Just lower the
You
setting.
know what? I'll play with you. I'm gonna have to buy it though. My daughter left her PlayStation here. I'll play with you. Maybe we should all get together and like play on Twitch or something.
Oh, that would be
There you
fun.
go. That would be fun.
Yes.
That would be.
I'm
that's
not
a
very
idea,
good.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna die a lot
Oh
sooner
no, we
than
all
you
about
do,
to be
Josh,
out
so
the
we
first
can- I'll
thing, but
play.
we just gonna keep lowering the intensity till we get through it. We all about to be out the first thing, but we just gonna keep on.
Super basic, very elementary.
Exactly.
Lowest-
Exactly.
Press whatever buttons and it'll work. I need
Right.
that.
So if y'all watch, don't prepare for your mind not to be blown. But if you hang in there with us, we'll get it eventually.
We'll
I'm just
get
saying,
there.
we'll get it eventually.
It's gonna take us till the next season. Well, it'll take me that long anyway.
Right. It's HBO, y'all. We got time. We'll get the gameplay down. You know, it's good. We good. You know, wait for season 2. But yeah, we appreciate y'all hanging in with the comments. Let's see other people coming in. What we got? Kim Possible. Honesty is always the best policy, but I understand why he lied.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael said he is right. Okay, Michael said he's on point. Joe Wick is on point today.
I mean,
What we got? I can't wait to see y'all faces when y'all play The Last of Us Part 2. That's what people keep saying. Like, we're going to have to play it because people saying this Part 2 is gangster.
Listen,
So
we
we
got to
gotta
get
see
through
what
part
part
1
2 is.
first.
Yeah. That's why I do want to play part 1, and then I want to play part. I
Yeah.
want the full gaming experience. Sorry.
Yep. So yeah, Michael saying me too. So maybe he about to get down with the gameplay. There you go. Yeah, everybody, you got time. Look, now this is an HBO thing. We hope it's gonna hurry up for season 2, but you got time, right? Go ahead and play. You know, play 1, do your thing, then play 2, catch up with us. You lower your intensity, we'll lower our intensity. You know, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna finish it before the season.
Yeah, but I do think, I mean, from a storytelling choice of a standpoint, I love that they made that choice because, I mean, obviously we're in the extreme world of like murder and cordyceps and things in the brain, but I'm just like, it makes me think of like the everyday lives of parents, but I'm also thinking like moms in particular who are in abusive or destructive relationships, but they don't want that to filter onto the kid. Oh, your dad just had a bad day. Your daddy's not like that. Oh, this is just, whatever. I ran into the door. Like, no. Daddy would never hit. So, it makes me think about that. And so like you have these kids who are able to grow up without the trauma of knowing the fullness of like, the battles between the parents. And so they get to be a full person unshaped by the trauma. And then they're an adult and they're upset and like, you should have told me. But then every parent is like, how am I look into the eyes of a 7-year-old and say, your daddy, or sometimes it can be the mom, but this parent who you cherish and adore, they're not who you think they are. Like that would have messed with you so much more. And I wanted you to have your best chance at your adult life. So I'm just like, it's not without precedence. And so I do appreciate that they went that direction with the story and chose the conflict, because that's like, it's the most human thing to want to protect the kids because they don't know anything.
Yeah. He's playing. I think he's playing with fire, y'all. But we have to find out in the second season. I think because she's not your typical kid. She didn't grow up in the, where she got sheltered and kind of got to walk her way through life. So it shall be interesting if she ever wants to. She's in a little shell right now. She's seen a lot of things, been damaged. So she's, if she ever comes out, and she's like, look, I know you lying.
Right.
We need to figure out what we're gonna do about this. So yeah, it'll be interesting going into season 2. Let me drop this little clip so you guys can give these peeps some love right here, because it's been bomb covering this season 1 with them. Give them a little shout out right here, because I love graphics always covering up y'all the handles where you can follow these talented people right here. But yeah, guys, we got season 2. We always got things coming out with Black Girl Nerds to keep y'all posted on what's coming down. Maybe some more recaps. We don't know. We might have some more stuff for you guys, so we'll keep you on the loop. We'll keep you posted. And we doing some Grogu representation because Mandalorian is still on. Right? So
sure
you can get you a little bit of Pedro for all your fans out there. He's still cute. You can't see his cute face, but he's still cute, y'all. So check out the Mandalorian.
I think he's cute. It's something about him. It's the bravado. It's the intensity. Like, I'm into it. Go ahead.
Yeah, trust me. Like I said, I've gotten the earful from my girl. She's like, he's so comfortable with his masculine and feminine side, and he can dance. I'm like, okay, all right, shut. That's enough. Go to work. Don't you have a job? Stop talking to me.
Exactly. Take clothes off.
She said, I've been watching the whole time, but I didn't want to leave without saying something. Great recap. Stay black.
So we know how to do.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wait, we have to do it at the same time, like the Fresh
ready?
Prince. 1, 2, 3. Well, we see my Wi-Fi is slow as shit because see, my time was off.
We tried. Though. We tried.
Yeah, we tried. We tried. It was a good effort. It was a good effort. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it. That's our season for y'all. We appreciate y'all. The comments have been hilarious. We thank y'all so much. Everybody coming back every week, sticking with our crazy rants, having fun with us. So yeah, we've been enjoying it. That's like what y'all. You guys got anything else to wrap us up? I think that's it. I think that's all we got.
No, I think yeah.
I mean, I think the Oscars is still going on, so check it out. I think they might got about an hour, 2 hours left. You know how the Oscars go down. So and then we'll be giving. So we still tweeting about it. We tweeting about it. So we giving you guys posts as that goes along too. But yeah, guys, keep it locked. You don't know what we got coming next, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
See ya.